We just want to talk. You want to talk? Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, welcome to Keep It Lit, man. We back again. Today we're going to talk about the worst sports reporter here on this earth, man, for real. It's on ESPN. It's out of Stephen A. Smith, Malika Andrews, and Skip Bayless. I want y'all to tell me in that comment section below who the worst one is. Today we're going to start with Stephen A. Smith right now. He was born in 1967 in Bronx, New York. He accepted a Winston-Salem State University scholarship to play basketball, but he was cut short due to an injury. He probably wasn't going to be done anyway, but that's another story. His basketball stats was 1.4 points a game. He had 0.2 assists per game. He had 0.2 rebounds, I'm talking about per game. He had 0.2 steals a game, and he never even got a block. Now, this man is always talking about people like he used to play sports and everything, but all he did was cover it. You see, they get these jobs, and just because they cover the sports, they think they're on top of other people. But just like they watch sports, we watch them too, and we can do the same thing. I mean, I can do it. I know I could cover sport. I've been watching them since I was a youngster. But he's the biggest Knicks fan besides Spike Lee, and he's the world's most biggest Dallas Cowboy hater, though. Stephen A. loves to criticize many players that make ratings go up, just to make the ratings go up, Unfortunately for the players, if you're not a friend, he will go in on you. You know, he's known for using that word blasphemy, or it's blasphemous. Come on now. You know, in the dictionary, what that stands for, the act of or offense of speaking about God or sacred things. I consider that question you guys look it up, man. I see what I'm talking about, man. Come on now. You're using a word that don't even make sense in your sentence. It's like, what is you doing? Out of all the analysis and everything he do on these football games, basketball games, and I mean, he barely do baseball. You can't even really catch one on baseball. Some boxing matches and stuff like that, but he's never really right. He's only right sometime, and when he's right, he's gonna brag about it. I mean, you're gonna hear the whole nine. He tries to demote players' characters and their careers, like Kwame Brown. You know, he always called him the biggest NBA bust in NBA history. You know, Kwame Brown finally, got up the courage and started his podcast and got on it. I mean, he went off on Stephen A. He said, "You want to meet up?" Stephen A. said he didn't. He said, "Come on the show." But, nobody going to come on that show because just like I said, he needs protection. So that's the only reason he wants you to come on that show. But recently, after, getting all the drama going and everything like that, he actually went publicly and apologized to him. I guess the heat was finally getting to that man. You know, he takes certain things personal, like with Kyrie Irving. I mean, he went all in on this man for at least 2 to 4 months. For nothing. Kyrie Irving had posted a thing back in the day on Twitter with a link to a movie about slavery. He wanted his, the black folks to know, all the people to know about what happened in the past, and be well aware of it. But Stephen A., he didn't like that. And then, when the COVID came, it was time to get a shot, for the team to play. Kyrie Irving refused to take that shot because, he didn't know what was going to be in that shot. And he's like, he wasn't having it. And I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, I got the shot. But at the same time, he wasn't having that stuff. So he didn't play for months. And I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith would not let it go. Now, Dana White was caught in public slapping his wife. Now, anybody else would have did that, man, it would have been all bad. But Stephen A. only covered that for 2 days. He said that he's a close friend and we're sending prayers to him. How you going to send prayers to a man who hit their wife? You're supposed to be sending prayers to that woman. That woman sounded like she got slapped and did the worst, I should say, out of that slap. How you going to defend this man and he's slapping women? Like, you think that was the first time that ever happened? And then Jerry Jones, somebody came out and posted an old photo of Jerry Jones standing in front of a school or something when the black kids, after desegregation, came in. He was there in the photo. I mean, you could say he was curious in the photo or whatever about the black people, but in reality was all white people back then, they were racist. They didn't like black people. They didn't want them to go to school with them. They didn't want to be a part and have nothing to do with them. I'm going to say it like that. And he defended Jerry Jones. He was getting on the person who posted the photo. I mean, you got to understand what race was back then. Black and white did not mix. And now Jerry Jones is, he's a billionaire. He got the Dallas Cowboys or whatever, and he has black people playing for him. You know what I'm saying? So he pays them and everything like that. So he didn't want his character to get downfall, but it got downfall because man, that was the weakest thing I ever seen. But I can't stand Stephen A. myself, man. He just think he's on top of the world. Because after he started making the money, when you seen Stephen A. when he first came on First Take, you would have been like, oh, he's a cool dude. He's relaxed everything. But then when you start making that money, your head get big, and his head got super big, and that line went way back. So you should tell that where he's at right now. And not to put it off or anything like that, but then when you get higher up in a company or something, you're on any side. You're gonna take any side just to keep your spot, even if it's wrong. That's how he is, though. Now we're about to talk about Malika Andrews. She's the biggest feminist and black man activist on TV. Now, Malika is of Jewish descent. Her dad is black, but her mother is white. And she hates being half black. And it seemed like that side is just killing her. If she could take it out of her, she would take it out of her. She started off working at her grandmother's law firm, and then it seemed to rub off on her so much that she brought it to TV. If any athlete that is black had a trouble past or anything of that nature, she will bring it up on air. She's going to let the world know what you did back in the day, even if it was when you was a juvenile, a little kid or something like that. She's going to bring it up. She recently brought up Brandon Miller, who was the second pick in the NBA draft this year, and he was involved in a case where he wasn't charged or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? He got drafted, and on that night, she got to cover it with a few more analysts, and she just brought it up. She gonna say, yeah, he was charged with such and such, and he wasn't charged, and he shouldn't even have that put on his record if nothing happened. Why bring it up? You know what I'm saying? She brought up the Michigan State star, Adrian Payne. He was killed in a shooting, and she went out to report it. And instead of sending condolences, she brought up a sexual assault case, which he wasn't charged in. And you're supposed to send condolences on somebody who just got killed or whatever, But she bringing that up, and didn't even say rest in peace to the man. She just he was involved in such and such. Involved doesn't mean you were charged, so we shouldn't even want to know that. People want to know if his family was watching. Come on now, think about that. Your family watching, and you got covered on the news, and next thing you know it, this woman is saying her, condolences. People are, around the world giving condolences, but you bringing up a past which he didn't have nothing to do with. I mean, come on now, what kind of sense does that make? We're gonna get on the Ime Udoka thing. Ime Udoka was caught having sex with some of the Celtics staff members. He had a mutual and consensual sex with them. It was over like 2 or 3 women reported. He was with Nia Long at the time, so he cheated on her. But I'm talking about when that news hit, Malika Andrews went all in on that man. She brought up his past. She brought up that it wasn't the women's fault. It was only his fault. Now, consensual sex isn't just one person's fault. It's that person and the other person. These women had sex with him, but he was the only one who suffered consequences. He got suspended, then eventually fired. And every time they went on like NBA Today, let's say Matt Barnes and Kendrick Perkins, who knows way more about what's going on with the situation than she does, because Kendrick Perkins used to play for the Celtics. But he went on and said that why isn't anybody else getting in trouble for this? And she said, stop. I'm going to let y'all see the tape in a minute. And she went crazy. She was saying nobody should be blaming women. Nobody's blaming women. It's saying that they had consensual sex. It wasn't like he raped the person or whatever. No, they both had it. They both liked each other. All 3 of them. How many women it was? And you always trying to stay. She's with. I can understand you being a female protector or whatever. But when they're wrong, they're wrong. It is what it is. And then she goes on First Take with Stephen A. Now I like Stephen A. for that one. She went on and she said her take about what she felt about the situation, and then it was time for Stephen A. to talk. And when he was talking, she tried to stop him, and he went in on her. He said, "Don't try to shut me up on my show. It's not happening."
Let me be very clear. I don't appreciate where you're going with that. I'm not blaming anybody but Ime Udoka. He deserves, the fact of the matter is, I've said he deserved to be fired if they were going to fire him. If you're not going to fire him, then don't fire him. My issue is all of this being publicized. The point that I'm trying to make is just like you're not mentioning. Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my show. It ain't happening. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I've already said he deserves to be fired or he deserves to be there and handle it internally and privately. If you're not going to handle it privately, if you're going to publicize it in that fashion, then obviously it provokes everybody wanting to know, okay, well, who are the parties involved? When you have Amina Smith in Boston and other women pointing out the fact that there were women who were wrongly implicated in all of this, it's a disservice to them. I didn't come out with the report about a consensual relationship. I didn't come out with the report ahead of time leaking that they were going to suspend him for the year. They did that. And my point is, considering how pervasive this kind of stuff has existed in professional sports for many years, my whole point is that, excuse me, make sure that you handle it in the same fashion it has always been handled.
I gave him props for that because she wants everybody to believe in what she believes in. She don't want nobody else to have any other thoughts. It's what I say and what I say goes. That's how she is. Then the Celtics eventually hired Joe Mazzulla. He was assistant coach at the time, and he got the job, and she brings up his criminal past. That's how she is. You know, if you get a job, you're a black man on TV, she's going to bring up any past you have. That's just her way of life, man. She wants people to know what happened in the past. Even though you done changed and let that stuff go in the back, she act like she never committed a sin in life. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't want her relationship status to be known on TV or anything like that, but she's been caught a few times, and the person that she's with is a white man named Dave McMenamin, and he's an ESPN analyst and journalist. So he's always on TV and everything here and there, but she didn't want nobody to know. But you all know now. Finally, her classmate Eli Rogers came out with a couple stories when they were in a private school. He wanted to get her back for how she doing other people. And I mean, I liked it because you want to know dirt about people, you want to know dirt about you too then, if that's the case. And he was with friends in the private school, and one of his friends fingered this girl. I mean, it is what it is. She let him, she asked him to do it, and then afterwards, she goes and tells the superintendent and tries to get that man in trouble. You know, it's like trying to make people feel sad for you. Oh, I got raped, so now I'm going to get an opportunity. That's what I'm thinking. I know everybody else is probably thinking the same. And then he said that they used to always get drunk, but not off alcohol, off hand sanitizer. Who does that? Come on now. Yeah, he has a problem with depression, and we kind of know why now, you know what I'm saying? But she hates black folks, man. That's the bad part about it. Even though you have black, you still hate them. I mean, it's not our fault we black. We was born in this world like we are, and we are who we are. You should be happy with who you are. You're lucky to be here. You should thank God for being here. And whatever you look like is what you look like. Be happy with yourself, or you not happy at all. So, all right, we're going to get to Skip Bayless, whose real name is John Edward Bayless. Man is the craziest person alive, I feel, too. He played basketball and averaged 1.4 points a game. After began covering sports through a newspaper, he started to feel like he knew and played every one of them. Mostly basketball and football, basically. Skip finally got known in 2007 when he joined First Take, and nobody knew who this man was. I mean, only if you knew him was if you was reading a newspaper back in the day when he was covering sports and stuff like that. But nobody knew who he was. Even when he went on First Take, he didn't have no fans. But then all of a sudden, one time he ended up downgrading LeBron. Let's say it like that. He started talking stuff about LeBron James, and then all of a sudden he started getting known for that. And ever since that day, he's been doing it, and he's got more popular and popular ever since then. He has on Twitter about 3 million followers, and he feel that they all like him. Only about 10,000 probably even respect this man. You know, the rest, they on there. I mean, if you go down the comment list on his page, when he posts a tweet or something, it's always somebody talking stuff about his comment and what he tweeted and everything like that. He doesn't see that because he doesn't follow nobody back, but that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't want to hear the noise. I'm pretty sure his wife, Ernestine, tells him about it all the time because he has some crazy takes about different sports, and he feels whoever he says is the best is the best. You know, he went on after he was dogging LeBron James being in Cleveland. Johnny Manziel, who was a Heisman Trophy winner, got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. He literally said on air that Johnny Manziel will be more liked in Cleveland than LeBron James. If you go look at Johnny Manziel right now, he wasn't even in the league for 2 years. He booted out the NFL. Didn't do nothing. Didn't really even get no wins on the team. He's now in the CFL playing. His net worth is only $1 million. After he was a Heisman Trophy winner and played on the Cleveland Browns. He likes Tim Tebow. He felt Tim Tebow was going to be one of the best quarterbacks ever. Tim Tebow took the Broncos to the playoffs one time. As he got that win, he felt Tim Tebow was going to do it all. Tim Tebow is no longer in the league. Tim Tebow didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? See, people had to come on the show and really talk down because he'll talk about you and then invite you on the show. Like, come on, man. You just talk stuff about me, the whole take that you had the other day, but then you want me to come interview with you. Richard Sherman, who might be coming to be the new cast member for Shannon Sharp since Shannon left the show, and he talked down to him, and Richard Sherman went off on him on TV. I mean, Terrell Suggs and Jalen Rose did too. You know, he had to put him in his place because Skip Phil, he know everything, bro. It kills me. He started off a fan and they start losing again. Like, let's say he started off a fan as the Spurs. That was his team. Only reason he liked the Spurs really back then was because they were beating LeBron a few times, and he likes any team that faces LeBron. He loved Kawhi Leonard for a second. He always talked about how good he was. All of a sudden, Kawhi Leonard decided to leave the Spurs. He wouldn't even mention Kawhi Leonard's name. He started calling him number two.
What number two proved to me this year is that crime pays. And I'm talking about basketball crime, because what he committed against the classiest organization in all, maybe of all sports, but at least the Patriots of the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs that I have known and loved since the 1980s, it was nothing but a basketball crime because he flat out quit on them, and he successfully quit his way right out of San Antonio. God bless him. But it just turns my stomach that he, quote unquote, won.
Number two did this. Number two did this. But then all of a sudden, when speculations came in, and it was time for Kawhi Leonard to go to L.A., and everybody thought he was going to the Lakers to join LeBron James, Skip didn't like him. All of a sudden, they found out that he signed with the Clippers. Oh, he became the biggest Kawhi Leonard fan there is. He came out on the show with his jersey on and wearing his shoes, saying the new king is in town and all this. And that's how it is, man. If you're against LeBron James, then Skip Bayless is with you. He's also known for giving athletes nicknames and destroying their reputation with, family members go to these games and stuff, and then you hear in the crowd people chanting that name this man done said. Like, he gave Russell Westbrook Russell Westbrick. He started calling him that, and his family can't even really go to games and stuff, and he done got into it with so many people because of it, and he doesn't care. He's going to keep calling that man that. And that's wrong. He also gave Robbie Gould, the former kicker for the 49ers. They call him Fool's Gold. Joey Flacco, former quarterback for the Ravens, they call him Fluco. Kevin Durant, he loves Kevin Durant, but when Kevin Durant doesn't perform well, he's going to call him Kevin Durant. T.O., Terrell Owens, he called him the team obliterator. Chris Bosh, former basketball player, called him Bosh Splice. Come on now. A team will never deny loving. He will never deny loving is the Dallas Cowboys. Every year, this man said they're going to win it. They're going to the to the Super Bowl. They're going to win it finally. It's been 28 years. 28. They haven't even made it to the NFC Championship. But as soon as they play, if they play and they win, oh my God, you is not going to hear the end of it on that show. He's going to act like they won the Super Bowl after they beat a team. But if they lose, though, like if Dak Prescott loses, he's going to go on there and do his little skit where he throws away the jersey in the trash can. But then next thing you know, if they win and he got the jersey on and he's saying this person won and this. It's so annoying, man. It's killing me. Out of 100, he's right about his takes 10 to 15% of the time. He picks certain players he likes and predict, they will be the best. But they never are, man. That's the crazy part about it. The show Undisputed was good until he got his head got to him. You know what I'm saying? He had went off on Shannon Sharp, calling Shannon Sharp because Shannon Sharp does what he does. He debates. He talks about LeBron James, but Shannon doesn't go off on him like how he goes off. If you talk about Tom Brady or anything of that nature, he's gonna go off. So Shannon talked about it, saying that Tom Brady didn't do this or what's that kid's name? Baker Mayfield. When he goes off on Baker Mayfield, because Skip feel that man is like the best. We had a take with him right now and talked about Baker Mayfield. Only thing he's going to bring up is something in 2015-16 when he got him to the playoffs one time. After that, Baker Mayfield has been absent from everything. You do not hear nothing about him. He done got traded about twice, and he hasn't performed. And it's the truth. But you can't tell Skip that. He feel that he's the best and he's going to succeed one day. And whenever that day is, man, hopefully Skip is alive to see it because it don't look like too bright in the future for that. But he went off on Shannon Sharp and actually called Tom Brady a better football player than he ever was. They played different positions, first off. He's a tight end. Do you think Tom Brady could have been a tight end? Tom Brady is like one of the slowest quarterbacks in history. Even though he is, I give him like he's GOAT status, but he also lost Super Bowls. My goal would be Joe Montana. Joe Montana didn't have no earphones, ear sets where you can hear the play called by the coach. He didn't have these little roughing the passer and everything like that. You got hit. That's how it is. So, and he undefeated in his Super Bowls, but nobody bring up Joe Montana though. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. He also posted a tweet after that DeMar Hamlin situation, and he was wondering when the game was going to continue. But this man done passed out on the field. Bro? We worried about this man's life right here, and you tweeted this, and then Shannon didn't show up the next day because that tweet went viral. Everybody went off on that man. I'm pretty sure Ernestine told him about it. Next thing you know it, he comes on the show with his fake apology the next day, doing that. I just want to say. Come on, man. We know that's a fake apology, and you're only doing it because your bosses had to tell you to do it. You wasn't going to do it. Shannon Sharp comes back the next day, tries his monologue in the beginning of the show, and next thing you know it, Skip interrupts him and says, I'm not going to erase the tweet. Bro, he was just trying to tell you that he didn't agree with your tweet, and you just wanted, I stand by it. Or you stand by it, but you was wrong for that, and you know it. That's the crazy part, but he doesn't care because if you be a villain on TV, people are going to want to see you more. That's what people don't understand. If you sit here and say this, I want to see him what he going to say next because this man is stupid, but he's getting the ratings and then he gets paid for doing that. Charles Barkley really hates him. I really want to see Charles Barkley catch him in public one day. He said he want to spit on him, pee on him, just knock him out, put him in a room with him one time, and he wants to do something to him. I love to see that because that man really deserves it. He really deserves it. He loves to remind people of that Twitter, man. I tell you that. But we gonna end it right there, man. I want y'all to really decide who do y'all think is the worst analyst that's going on right now: Stephen A., Malika Andrews, or weak Skip Bayless. It's your choice, man. Put it in the comment section below, man. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. And thanks for watching. Keep it lit. And y'all, that's what y'all do. Keep it real. Keep it lit.
Mr. Tower, hey, Fetty, yeah, just keep it lit and make sure everybody smoking, cuz she got smacked, cause I guess she forgot we was stuck. We still here, nigga, we ain't go nowhere, no matter who die, no matter who in jail.